Well, I'm originally from Bosnia, most of Bosnia. There was a war going on in Bosnia since already in '93. And when I was 16, I was hanging out with my friends in front of our apartment building, and a mortar shell grenade exploded about 5-6 feet away from me, killing all my friends, and I was critically injured. We were surrounded by two armies from east and west, and we were actually 60,000 civilians stuck in an area of maybe 25-30 city blocks. We had no water, no food, no electricity, no medical help. So in that dire environment, the only thing that could have happened was they've taken me to what we called a makeshift hospital, which was actually a basement. Basically all the injured people, anybody that was dead, anybody that was sick, was taken actually there and given medical help. It's probably 105 degrees outside, blistering heat. Environment is less than sanitary. So 7 of us were just literally lined up in this room like sardines. And I saw some of them just die because they just gave up. And I just refused to give in to the injury, to the enemy, to whoever fired that bomb. It took a lot of tenacity to just get my dressing changed in the morning, and then again in the evening, and then over and over and over again every single day without actually literally getting up to move or reach for anything. I mean, you have to know, my arm was wrapped up, my legs were wrapped up. I was just literally laying like this. We had no water, they shaved my head. Infection set in. Eventually my left leg had to be amputated because there was just no way of keeping it. Because we had no medical help, amputation had to happen without anesthesia. They said, oh, you're going to fall asleep and you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel anything. And I said, okay, that's fine. And I was an avid soccer player, so when they told me they were going to say, well, we're just going to cut off your toes, and I thought, well, that's all right, I can still play soccer without my toes. Next thing you know, I fall asleep because I was kind of in and out. I lost a lot of blood. I'm waking up with this excruciating pain. It's just burning through my knee, and I thought, what is happening? And I'm like, oh no, they're cutting off my leg. And I'm thinking to myself, they're cutting off my leg, and not only they're cutting it off without anesthesia and I can feel and hear everything, but the awful part for me was they're not just cutting off my toes, they're cutting it right below the knee. And I thought, how am I going to play soccer again? After about 2 months or so of them trying to keep the infection at bay, my body started to kind of give in. I started seeing yellow. I stopped eating. My temperature started to go high and never go down. So I'd say probably at that point I was about a week before death. But something very interesting happened. A lady named Sally Becker, she came to rescue 3 children. She had 1 ambulance and she could put in 3 children in that ambulance, and she was going to rescue them out and just give them medical treatment. And she showed up at my bed. At that time I didn't speak any English. The interpreter said to me, we're leaving to get medical help and you've got about 20 minutes to decide if you want to go. And we sort of had a quick family meeting and decided that I had to go and get medical treatment, and my parents would stay. After arriving in Cumberland, Maryland, Memorial Hospital, I practically lived there. I didn't have a home, I didn't have an address. My home was really the hospital. They set me up in a private room, and the doctors have arranged for free medical treatment. I just happened to be this lucky little girl that they helped. Very important for me to make a difference in somebody else's life. I've had, I don't know, hundreds of people help me, change their lives to help me. I can't look at these people and say, well, I'm not going to go make that step. I can't look at those people and fall into depression. I have to keep moving forward for them. You feel obligated to pay them back. There's nothing that makes you feel so good as actually trying to help someone else. That's why I started OneStoryOneWorld.com, a place where people can share stories so we can all help each other. 2 things that I really try to remember when I go through hard times. Number 1, it all happens for a reason. It all just kind of works out at the end. I don't mean to be religious or anything like that, but it's just, at the end, things they just have a way of working out. So you have to be able to learn to just let things happen to you and know that it's going to be okay. The human spirit is just so resilient, and it wants to go back to that normal state. And as long as you just have that tenacity and you keep trying, trust yourself and trust me that you will get there. You will get to that end. If you make your problems and view them as something that are big and complicated, you're trying to climb Mount Everest. And it's going to be difficult, if not impassable, just mentally to try to do that. But if you break that down into very simple steps, and you don't look at the mountain as an Everest, but you say, all I have to do is today make 2 steps forward, and then I'm going to rest. Then you're just going to make that progress forward, and you will see that after the 2 steps, you're going to feel really good about yourself, and you're going to say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to make 3 steps. And the next thing you know, you're going to be on top of that mountain, and you're going to feel pretty good about yourself, and you're going to say, wow, I'm amazing. And you'll realize that every one of us is amazing if we could take those small steps and go forward.